The Haute route is a legendary trekking route through the Alps that connects Mont Blanc with the Matterhorn. It's the most scenic trek in Europe. One version of this classic trek takes place entirely within Switzerland to capture the most scenic parts of the Alps. We start in Verbier, one of the top ski resorts in the world, and take a quick lift to Les Ruinettes and on to the Cabane de Montfort, where we overlook the Mont Blanc range. Then it's off into the wild as we enter the Val de Bagnes Nature Reserve, where we spot ibex and chamois on the rocky slopes. We cross our first pass, the Col Terman, then drop into a deep glacial bowl where Lac de Louvie, one of the prettiest lakes in the Alps, is set. Our hut is right on the shore of the lake, with the glacier-clad Grand Colban as our backdrop. Day 2 is the most physically challenging day on the Haute route, with the wildest, most rocky terrain of the entire trip. We cross 2 passes over 9,500 feet. We ascend the Val de Louvie and cross the Col de Louvie. Once again, wildlife viewing is excellent. What lies beyond is the rocky moraine of the Grand Dessert. We pass below this shrinking glacier and witness the result of glacial retreat. As we traverse a stretch of high and rocky glacial basins dotted with tiny lakes, there are some route-finding difficulties, and in poor visibility and without an experienced guide, you could be in for trouble. We cross the Col de Prafleuri, the highest pass on the Haute route. You'll have great views of Mont Blanc de Chalon before arriving at Cabane de Prafleuri, where you can take a well-earned rest. Day 3 is always a favorite day on the Haute route. We start with a quick ascent of the Col de Roux, which we're able to cross in about 25 minutes. As we cross the pass, we look out over the turquoise blue waters of Lac de Dix, formed by the highest dam in Europe. One of the most relaxing sections of the Haute route is the morning walk along the shores of this dramatic lake. Cows and marmots share the grassy slopes. By noon, we reach the top of the lake and ascend up the Pas de Chat along a high, rocky slope with edelweiss and cascading streams. A steep final ascent takes us over the Reed Mountain Pass. Here we have our first distant views of the Matterhorn before making a steady descent into the charming village of Arolla, a hiker's paradise. This stage captures a full range of what the Haute route is all about. Forested valleys, charming villages, high alpine meadows, and spectacular glaciers. You depart the quaint village of Lesage to ascend through a deep forest and onto a high meadow where cows, sheep, and goats graze on the rich alpine grasses. You stop at a mountain dairy to try the local Alp cheese. You can cross either the Col de Sauté or the Col de Terran. Either way, you'll make a quick and beautiful descent down to Lac de Moiry, with some stunning views of the Moiry Glacier, known for having the most impressive ice falls in the Alps. Then we stroll down the valley into the village of Grimentz, one of the most historic and best preserved villages in the Swiss Alps, with many buildings dating to the 16th century. The stage from Zinal to Gruben is another day with a wonderful variety. As we leave Zinal and rise through woods of mature pine and larch, we have sweeping views of the enormous Val d'Anniviers. You'll see small alpine dairies and herds of herons fighting cows before passing small glacial lakes and making a direct descent over the Forcleta Pass. Then it's a winding descent through the forest and into the seasonal hamlet of Gruben. It's our first German-speaking valley, the Turtmantal. It's like stepping back 100 years in time. You can expect a great meal at the historic Schwarzhorn Hotel. From Gruben, we make another ascent up through the larch forest to the historic Augsburg Pass, used since medieval times. Here you'll have dramatic views down into the Mattertal. To the north is the Alles Glacier, the longest in the Alps. We descend to the charming village of Jungen, perched on the hillside high above the Mattertal. From Jungen, take a gondola descent to the town of St. Nicholas with its onion-domed church. From there, it's a quick train ride up the valley to Zermatt, where we conclude with a few days of hiking in the surrounding hills with stunning views of the Matterhorn. Zermatt is a busy resort, but within minutes of the bustling shopping area, you'll be walking through quiet woods with chamois and red deer, and soon find yourself on the shore of mountain lakes with stunning reflective views of the Matterhorn and over a dozen other 4,000-meter peaks. The Matterhorn is the most recognizable mountain in the world, and you won't want to miss the opportunity to enjoy this iconic peak from different angles and throughout the day as the sun and the clouds show off its icy ridges in an ever-changing display. On the Haute route, you'll pass by 10 of the 12 highest peaks in the Alps. You'll be wowed by glaciers, wildflowers, wildlife, and some of the greatest hiking trails in the world. Don't miss it.